From painting to photography, from beadwork to woodworking, KQAL-FM on the campus of Winona State University presents Art Beat. Art Beat highlights the work and accomplishments of local artists from in and around Winona. Support for Art Beat is made possible by the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund.
You know, the story goes that, one day he was on one of these typical sort of paddling upriver and a storm came along and he pulled alongside the shore and was waiting out the storm when a farmer came down and chased him off the land. And he thought that, nobody should be denied the use of the river and the river shoreline, and he sent his agent up there the next day to purchase his property, and that started him on this quest to buy this land for the public.
That was an excerpt from the locally produced film John Latsch, The Man and His River. Today on Art Beat, we're talking about the film produced by Mary Farrell and written by Frances Edstrom, both from right here in Winona. The film made its original debut at the 2017 Frozen River Film Festival and is now being shown again as part of an online screening event from the festival. There will be a free online screening of the film this Saturday, July 25th at 7 p.m. Mary and Fran were kind enough to speak with us about the making of the film and to give us a little background on John Latsch himself. I'm Bill Stoneberg. Stick around as we talk about John Latsch, The Man and His River, with filmmaker Mary Farrell and screenwriter Frances Edstrom on Art Beat. I'm here with Mary Farrell and Frances Edstrom. Mary's the filmmaker and Frances is the screenwriter behind the film John Latsch, The Man and His River, which is going to be a free online screening this coming Saturday from 7 to 8:30. So check that out. Mary and Frances, how are you guys doing today?
Good, considering COVID.
Right, yeah. Kind of different. It'd be nice to have this screening in person. And now, Mary, this film actually debuted in 2017 at the Frozen River Film Festival. Why are we showing these films again? Is there a reason behind for Frozen River, or?
Right. Well, yeah, the Frozen River Film Festival reached out to me and said they wanted to try this online event. And because they're off season now, here in July. Mm-hmm. And so they wanted to do this new kind of event that would involve showing the John Latsch film and having a Q&A with myself. Fran wasn't able to be part of that Q&A. But anyway, we did a Zoom Q&A, okay. Myself and Frozen River staff, and along with Blake Darst, who is the editor of the film. And so this was an opportunity for them to, for a couple of reasons, to, like I said, to do something off season, mm-hmm. and then to also kind of play around with the idea of some online events, because they're not sure how things are going to look for the festival, in February of 2021.
Right.
So it's kind of an experiment for them. Mm-hmm. And so because I'm here in Winona, it was just easier to reach out to me right. Versus maybe some of the filmmakers that aren't as local. I think they are going to try to do some more of them, but they went with the low-hanging fruit.
Well, most easy, right? Sure. And I love that they're starting with this one because I think, like we had kind of talked before, that this premiered at Frozen River the year before I started here, so I didn't get to see it yet. I was excited when you sent me the link. I viewed the film and wow, some really cool stuff because I love this area and living here and the river and just some beautiful shots and really good information. For listeners out there who may not have seen this film before in 2017, can you guys kind of, this is a question for either one, Mary or Fran. Who was John Latsch and why, why? Why is it important for everyone to know about this? Because it's a name we all know,
Right. Fran, I'm going to let you talk about that. You did a lot of most of the writing, so all the writing. So why don't you go ahead and...
John Latsch is probably the biggest benefactor that the Winona area has ever seen. He gave over 18,000 acres of wild land to the people. And in fact, the city of Winona got over 7,000 of those acres. There's also land given to Bluffside Park, to John Latsch State Park, to Merrick State Park in Wisconsin, and to Trempealeau, Thoreau State Park there. And he thought that land along the river and up in the bluffs should belong to everyone, and that everyone should have the opportunity to go on the river, to be able to stop on a sandbar, to be able to climb the bluffs, and just enjoy the beauty and the natural resources of this area.
And Fran, I think that's really interesting that you mentioned the public access aspect, because like I said, we all know the name John Latsch, we know Latch Island and some of the parks and things that he's donated land to. I didn't realize how much, but one thing that struck me viewing the film was how it was very important to him for the public to have access to these areas, and I just
absolutely.
Yeah. How did he acquire so much land to donate? Is another thing that I kind of before we don't want to give away too much, even though the film's been out. But
Yeah.
we want to.
John Latsch grew up in Winona. His dad started in Winona as a little grocery store owner.
Mm-hmm.
Built the grocery business into a big concern, and then when John Latsch, our John Latsch, became old enough, he noticed that there were opportunities beyond just a local grocery store,
mm-hmm.
and so he got his dad involved in wholesale grocers, and eventually they bought out their partner, and they had originally had a partner, and it was called Latch and Sons, and it was huge. I mean, they were providing groceries for a vast area, and with the advent of the railroads coming through Winona, there were 5 railroads at the time, and of course the westward expansion was happening, and everything was coming through Winona,
Mm-hmm.
and so they took total advantage of that. I mean, they were supplying as far as the Dakotas and Iowa and Wisconsin and Illinois, just a huge area. It was a big business. They built a 7-story building in downtown Winona, which unfortunately was razed in the 70s,
Mm-hmm.
and they filled the whole building with their concern, and then they had to build another 3-story building as an addition. They were multimillionaires,
Mm-hmm.
and John never married. His brothers and sisters died young, all of them, and they never married, and so he had no heirs, and he just thought that this was a way of giving back to the community.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I find that so inspiring when someone finds success like that and then just shares it with the community around them, and especially in this way with the access to these wild areas that are, outdoor areas that we have available to us. What inspired you guys to create this film, or how did it go down? Like, Fran, did you write it first, or did you guys work together?
Mary, you take that one.
Okay, sure. So, Bill, I actually was attending the Frozen River Film Festival. I attended all the festivals,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it was like in 20, maybe 14, something like that. I was at the festival and I was watching a film about Aldo Leopold, and who was a conservationist. And it just struck me while I was watching the film that I thought, well, I wonder about a film about John Latsch. It just thought it just came naturally after watching the film, and it kind of stayed with me. So I brought it up to some Frozen River Film Festival staff at the time, and shared my idea with them, and I got a lot of support and encouragement, and so I decided I was going to give that a try. My background is in photography, still photography. It's not in film.
Right.
But anyway, I thought, well, I could, put together I'll have to put together a team, a writer and a videographer, and I would kind of do the editor, and I would oversee the project. So, and I had to pursue some grant money. So I reached out to Fran and asked her if she would be interested, knowing that Fran has a love of local history, a great knowledge of local history, and has excellent writing skills. And so when I brought it up to her, I mean, she immediately, if I remember right, Fran, you said yes right away. It wasn't even that you needed to think about it. It was just not something that really interested that topic of, because she had written for the, she had was editor and owned the Winona Post, and had written a lot about local history and certainly about John Latsch. So I knew she knew and had the talent and the expertise to do this.
Right.
So,
and I like research.
Right. Actually, a former KQL person, Terry Chanseth Market. Do you know Terry?
Yes, I know Terry. Yep.
Yeah, I had reached out to her
Okay.
to do videography. And so we got started with that, and then she got busy. And so she ended up leaving the project. And then I thought, well, I guess I could give it a try. So then I started doing the videography, and, found out that I really love doing that. I do like being behind a camera. So I started filming. And so I became, and then...
which was one of the greatest moves in Winona history.
I would agree.
Because Mary's done another film as well, and is working on probably 5 or 6 more in her head.
Ooh, cool.
And she's really good at it. I mean, it's a beautiful, beautiful film.
Yes, totally.
Thank you. Well, it was, and then I had as far as the drone footage, there was I had actually a Winona State grad was known for his drone footage. So I reached out to him, and he did the drone pieces.
Nice.
And so it was an excellent team with Fran doing the writing, myself doing the filming, and then Blake Darst from Winona Creates. I reached out to him, and actually this was a new thing for all of us. I mean, Fran hadn't, right, Fran? Would I say that?
No, I had never written for video.
But yeah, and I had never produced a film and done a documentary. And when I talked to Blake, who I know has done video editing, he had never done it either. So we were all really we had our own expertise and talents. But as far as actually making a documentary film, that was all brand new for each of us. So I have to say I was very pleased.
Yeah.
With the whole team, and then of course and the outcome. It did. I will have to say it did win the People's Choice Award at the film festival in 2017.
Awesome. And it is a beautiful film too. I love it. And I just, it's a topic I have great interest in, but I think a lot of us around here do. And it's so wonderful.
The other thing I was going to say too was, I'm sorry, the music was by Mike Munson, who is a local musician. So we reached out to him to do the score, and that was another great addition.
Definitely. And it's so wonderful that it's so many local people coming together,
Right.
even though they may not have specific expertise in that area, related enough that you guys pull it off in such a wonderful way. I mean,
Well, I think we rose to the challenge.
I think you did, for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely. Fran, I know you mentioned that you like research and stuff like that, which good for us because then we get to see this wonderful film with all the cool info in it. Is there anything, when you were looking and digging into this and digging into John Latsch a little more, is there anything that surprised you or maybe a story of interest or anything about him?
Well, what surprised me most was that there was so little written about him.
Oh.
And what was written, a lot of it was just regurgitating what had been written before.
Oh, wow.
And so, it was hard to find anything new, and it was also difficult to check out the veracity of some of the claims that were made. But, we like to be correct.
Right.
And but he left no letters that I could find or that the Historical Society here knows about.
Wow.
I think we even put a little ad in the paper saying if anyone has any letters or information about John Latsch, let us know. And we got no responses.
Mm-hmm.
And the letters thing, I'm going to go off here on a tangent.
Okay.
It drives me crazy when I hear my friends saying, "Oh, I was going through my letters, between me and my husband, and I threw them all away."
Ooh.
I'm like, "No,
Right.
no, don't do that."
Mhm.
Even if you're not famous, letters give historians an idea of what life was like, what real, life was like, other than, in famous and rich people who get into the newspapers, or on television or whatever, or online. And so don't throw away those old letters. They're valuable. Anyway, that was a surprise that there were no letters. I don't know if he wasn't a writer or if somebody just threw them out. And I imagine they threw them out when they dissolved the business.
Oh, sure.
After his death.
Right.
Because he had no heirs, so no one was emotionally involved with with this man.
Right. And that is interesting because that is often, like you said, that's a window into what life was really like for historians, and I think that's often how we find out things about certain people like John Latsch and things is you look at letters, right? It
Exactly,
is surprising. Yeah. Well, how did you go about, did you just look through records here? I mean, I know there's a couple interviews with some people who had some contact with him. I mean, was it difficult to find information then because of lack of letters and things, or?
It was, and we were really lucky to find people who knew anything about him. First or second hand.
Right.
Mary interviewed Marion Cunningham. I think Marion at the time was like 99 years old or something.
Right.
And,
Well, we
and
figured
she-
you have to find someone that old that could actually remember
yeah,
having met him or at least known him in some way.
yeah.
Definitely.
But we found that, it's with Fran's research, and that Winona newspaper project was extremely helpful.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, that project
Through
that's
Winona State,
Winona
yes.
State, that was a huge help.
Okay, cool. So those things help out. Those things help out for sure. We mentioned before how he donated so much land. I think it was 18,000 acres or something.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, that is a lot. And we all know, Latch Island, we know the names like that, the park. What are some popular spots that we all know about that we might not connect with him? Are there some things that might surprise people?
Well, he bought land, the land that Westfield Golf Course is on.
Oh.
That used to be the Tri-County Fair land,
Right.
way back, and the they broke that up, and the Winona County Fair moved to St. Charles. And so he bought that land because he knew it would be valuable for public land.
Gabrick Park, the baseball.
Oh, yeah, I think that was part of the package. Okay. But there are a little. I think the West End rec land as well. That used to be ball fields and stuff. Where the aquatic center is.
Okay, sure.
Those used to be ball fields. He really liked it that kids could go out and play baseball, and so he would buy ball fields or places that they could have ball fields and Bluffside Park. I said, climbing hills was important to him. He loved to do it. He just Latch Island is funny. He did not want it named Latch Island, but the city fathers insisted. So he said, "Okay, then name it after my father." And so it's not really named after our John Latch,
right? Interesting.
And it wasn't one of his gifts, actually.
Okay. No,
people think it's that he gave that, but that really was the city bought that on their own. Was that right, Fran?
Well, he had some money in it, and of course he built the bathhouse that used to be there. But the way he got that land was it was owned by I think Chicago Northwestern Railroad, and so the city had been writing letters and please sell that land to us, we'd like to have it. And John Latch said, well, heck, I'll just go see the guy. And so the fella, right. And so he just went down to Chicago and walked right in and had a heart-to-heart with the president of the Chicago Northwestern Railroad and secured the land because the railroad really didn't need it at all.
Right.
And they just were holding on to it, And so that's the way he got that.
Wow.
And the beach was on the other side of the island. It was on the side where the boathouses are.
Okay.
On the slough side of the and he built a bathhouse there, and then the slough silted in, so he paid for them to move the bathhouse over to the current the
main channel.
Main channel, yeah.
Right.
And of course that was torn down, I think, in the 60s or 70s. They tore everything down in the 70s. They just trying to get rid of everything.
Too bad. Oh, and I love that you mentioned the ball fields too, because I thought that was interesting in the film too, that he was not only generous in donating land so that people could enjoy it, but it sounds like he was very generous with like school children around Christmas time and less fortunate. He would donate groceries and help with firewood, things like that. I mean, just sounds like an all-around good guy. What do you think is kind of the most important? Like, what's the message that we're kind of sending to people here with this film, you think?
Mary?
Yeah, I'm working on that. Well, I mean, I think one of the main reasons I did the film really was as a tribute to John Latch.
Okay.
Because he was so good and wise and I just and really generous.
Right.
I just think he loved Winona so much, and he was mayor for a while, so he was engaged in the community. He publicly served. It just seemed like he felt that as a citizen of this community, that it was his responsibility to look out for one another, take care of one another, and obviously his financial resources were abundant, and he was just not a selfish person.
Right.
He didn't want to, just keep it keep it for himself, because he lived a very simple lifestyle, and
He never owned a car.
Oh,
He
wow.
he walked to work. He ate sparingly. He was, very healthy. Um, he he didn't have any vices,
Mm-hmm.
and he was just a all around really wonderful guy.
Right.
And it wasn't enough for him to have a business and live his day-to-day life. He wanted to share his wealth,
Mm-hmm.
his all his talents, his wealth, everything.
Right, right. And I think that generosity that he had and love for the community, I think those are really good things for us to celebrate and kind of spread, hopefully,
Well, Winona has historically and even today, very much so today, is a very lucky community.
Mm-hmm.
We have really successful businesses run by local people, and they are extremely generous
Mm-hmm.
with the community. And they're kind of in the John Latch category.
And that's so. It just makes you feel good, thinking about that stuff. Because I think you're right. We are very lucky in this town, and I think it's a testament, I think, to the community itself and to the area. I think the area draws in people that appreciate it so much, and we want to share it. So, and I'm so glad that you guys have shared this story. I love it, and I can't wait to share it with more people. Is the film available to view? So the screening is this coming Saturday, July 25th at 7 p.m. So we can stream it there. There will be more information on Facebook if anyone wants to look up that event, and you'll find more information on where to stream it and how. Are there other places that the film can be viewed, like after the screening?
that is being worked on.
Okay.
Right now, really, it's available on DVD.
Mm-hmm.
It's for purchase at the Historical Society,
Okay.
and then there's a couple copies at the Winona Public Library. So we haven't gone online yet, but it will be coming.
Mary, maybe we should do pay-per-view.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I like that it's available for purchase at the Historical Society as well, because I was going to ask about that. I would love a copy, so I'm going to go down there
Okay.
when we can.
So they're also including Mike Munson in this event.
Oh, for the Q&A?
He is, yes.
Cool.
The event will be accompanied by music by him that he is going to
great.
create.
Awesome.
Yes, so that'll be a part of the project too. Or the event was music that he's done specifically for the
Fantastic.
live streaming event. Since then, Fran and I have worked on 2 more films.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So we did the Ann Pulaski Storyteller to the World,
Oh, yeah.
which was in 2018.
Right.
Yeah, and then we just showed one at Frozen River this year on the restoration of the Masonic Theater.
Yes.
Drops.
The drops.
So we've been working as a team now for the last these 3 films.
Excellent. Is there anything in the works between you two that we might see at the next festival?
Well, unfortunately, the plan was, this was going to be the year of the Kashubian, which was a year-long event to celebrate our Polish heritage.
Oh.
And so I had planned to filming of all these events here in Winona.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was going to be on the delegation to Poland in May.
Oh, wow.
To visit our sister city, Bitow, Poland.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, everything got canceled.
Right.
But one interview we were able to do that Fran and I did together was the interview with Father Paul Driza, who's the founder of the Polish Museum.
Oh.
But right now, everything's just totally on hold.
Kind of on hold, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we will look for more stuff from you two in the future. You make a great team. I have to say that.
Maybe we should do one on COVID in Winona.
You could do that.
Well, Fran, I will tell you, I have been doing some of that, just kind of randomly talking, filming some stories, some storytelling. Yeah.
Fantastic.
It's just the challenge is, social distance and mask wearing, all that. So it's kind of having to take all that into account.
Right. So. Well, we will look for more, Thank you guys so much for joining us today. Is there like a website or anything like that might have more information about the film itself, or should we just go to the Facebook page and the History Center?
I would go to Frozen River Facebook.
Frozen River. Okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Well, again, I've been speaking with Mary Farrell and Frances Edstrom. They were the filmmaking writing team behind the film John Latsch, The Man in His River, and several other films here in town, including the film about the Masonic Drop restoration. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Fran.
Bye-bye.
Thanks again to Mary Farrell and Frances Edstrom for joining us today on Artbeat. To find out how you can stream the film John Latsch, The Man in His River, go to FRFF.org or search Frozen River Film Festival on Facebook. For more conversations on art, tune into Artbeat, Tuesdays at 12:30 right here on 89.5 KQAL. I'm Bill Stoneberg, and we've just heard from local filmmaker Mary Farrell and local screenwriter Frances Edstrom. Now, we'd like to leave you with another excerpt from the film John Latsch, The Man and His River. Thanks for listening to Artbeat.
So much of this land around here that we enjoy today for recreational purposes is a result of gifts that this one person made to the city of Winona.
Artbeat is written and produced by KQAL-FM on the campus of Winona State University. Visit us on the web at kqal.org.
Is art an important part of your life? Tune into Artbeat, Tuesdays at 12:30 right here on 89.5 KQAL. Artbeat is made possible by a grant from the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund.